So listen, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some fun.
Okay.
We're gonna tackle some creativity things. We've got our little jester guy here.
Hey, Jester.
Yeah, he hails from New Orleans, and in a previous life, he was a beverage that if you haven't experienced it, I would say you're probably better off for it. But he's got some questions in his head, and they're all random. But we're gonna have some fun and see how LaNese thinks on her feet.
Oh wow!
Creative mojo. First question coming out. Sorry guys, we're totally killing LaNese with her coffee. All right, so just roll with us. And funny talking about what the jester was in a former life. So, are there any substances, tricks, or rituals that help you get the creative juices flowing?
Music and dancing. When I get blocked, I just need like a good 30 minutes of music, some dancing, just to unwind. And sometimes, that just helps remove a block for me, or just help me change my attitude to get positive and try to figure out some ideas creatively.
So what's your go-to? Do you have a go-to where you're right away that one will get the trick done?
No, I don't have a go-to because I just like all types of music, but I love Prince. So anything by Prince.
There you go.
And I like a lot of genres of music. So it just depends on what I'm feeling.
All right. So is it, do you feel like if you're having a particularly difficult, creative session and it's about like something that's heavy, you feel like you find different genre music hits, or if it's like something that's a little more lighthearted topic, but you're still struggling creatively, like you just need, or is it just like wherever you just hit play on your computer and like whatever comes up on Spotify is whatever it is?
And pretty much I will I will just try to find a playlist as whatever I'm feeling and then go from there. So it's not just one set playlist or one set artist. It's a combination of a lot of artists, but there is going to be some Prince. Absolutely. He's got a real good vibe to it. He's like feeling, Yeah. All right. I love that one. It's funny. Music comes up a lot for creatives. Yeah. There's just something about music, creativity, letting it all connect.
Yeah. It's so cool. I love it. All right. What do we have here? Okay. Well, right on that note, what 3 albums should someone listen to if they want to understand you?
Now see, this is what you should have given me up top. So
no. You can give me 3 albums or three artists.
Well, I gave you one.
Yeah, we got Prince.
And then in terms of a group, I love old school, but the Isley Brothers.
Okay.
Anything by the Isley Brothers. And then another one. I like Adele. I love Adele.
That is what a range.
I love her.
I love it.
It's a range.
Yeah.
So I love all types. It is a range. I even like a little country, but I like that old country. It was so funny. I was at work one day and somebody was coming in and they were listening to their AirPod, but you know how you can still hear the music, and they were listening to the country music, and I knew I was mouthing the words, and they were like, "You know that?" I was like, "I'm from down south, yeah."
Of course I know it.
I remember that, But yeah, even a little country, they have great storytelling in their songs.
Yeah, they do, and there's always the
storytelling.
There's always the old trope of my dog got run over, my girlfriend left me.
Right, my girl. Exactly.
I love that. Yeah. All right, this is good. We're flying through. We're gonna get through a lot of these. I think this is good. All right. So if you could wear this, we're in a hard left turn here. If you could wear one outfit for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Jogging suit and sneakers.
Do you have a color? What color?
Something green. Green is my favorite color. Something green. But you got to have the fly. You got to have the fly sneaks to go with the jogging suit. But I'm a jogging suit girl.
What brand sneakers?
Now, see, I don't do the brand thing. I love Puma. I love Adidas. Those are my two favorites. I like Nike too.
Just as long as they hit the right color, right?
Yeah, but I love Adidas. Yeah, Adidas and Puma, those are my faves. Yeah.
So we got a green jogging suit. Is it like a velour kind of jogging suit, or is it like one
velour
of like
stuff?
shimmery?
You know, Adidas is pretty simple. It's like you're branded because it's just simple and it has those lines. And as long as you have your sneakers to match, you're fly going out the door.
There you go. All right.
Now, I like Puma because I like their sneakers, pretty simple, streamlined. And I like their shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And then just you can put on just some bottoms, any kind of bottoms. And, you know, but I like Puma and Adidas. Those are my favorites.
It's funny you talk about, you know, you talk about the brands of those, like the 3 lines for Adidas, like Puma's got their little iconic. They're so, boom, you get it. And there's really something about it. You just kind of know.
Funny story was when I was in college, I did a little radio and somebody said, "Oh, do you want to go on the radio?" I said, "I think I could do that because I could wear a jogging suit every day to work and do my job. That would be perfect for me." So yeah, I've always been a jogging suit girl.
So listen, folks at JPA, when you watch this back, Christmas time, LaNese wants a jogging suit.
Right. Attire.
Yeah. Just, you know, and don't get one of those cheesy branded ones. Like go for it. Right.
Right. Exactly. Spend some money. Spend some cash.
Make me comfortable.
Right.
So we got prints. We've got jogging suits.
Yeah.
All right. So what else?
Green is my favorite color.
Green. Here we go. The creative process on a scale of 1 to 10. Is it torturous or is it enjoyable? 1 being torturous, 10 being enjoyable. How do you feel about that?
The production process?
The creative process.
Well, see, it's different projects. I enjoy it, period. The process. I enjoy the creative process because you can task me with doing a video for a church, you know, to inspire people within the congregation to learn about what the church has to offer with their ministries. I know that because I used to do that at one point. Or you can inspire me. I can get inspired with the creative process by doing a campaign brand ad for something that might help children and mental disorders. You know what I mean? So there's the various ways to get inspired, but I think the creative process is the best process because you are putting your thoughts into how can I make an impact? Period. Yeah. You know? And I also feel like when you don't have so many chefs in the kitchen, it makes it easier when you're working on smaller projects, it makes it easier to really brainstorm and bring those impactful ideas to the table and saying, you know, this is what I'm storyboarding, this is what I'm thinking, and it's all about impact for me. So it's a good process for me. I'm gonna put it at an 8.
Yeah, okay. I like that. It's funny you say that it doesn't matter. And I couldn't agree with you more. It's one of the things I love about my job is and running a creative studio is we get to work on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when we're at CNN or Nat Geo or wherever the other places that I've been, it's like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what you know your lane, stick to it. But working for ourselves, man, everything's different. You know, whether it's a thing for discovery or a nonprofit over here, like the point is very simple. Your job is to tell a story to inspire. Right. You're inspiring people to watch.
And to inspire, but to impact them too.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's the end of it. Like you are trying to get people to engage in something.
Yeah.
Engage in watching our show, engage in giving money to us, engage in volunteering for whatever. It's like, it is about getting people to buy into whatever it is. And I think that there's so fun about that.
Yeah.
Your idea, the thing from whether it's a church to a TV show or a film.
TV show or to just a PSA.
Yeah.
But, and to your point, it is a simple process, but the creative process is really how to tailor it for your audience that you're going after. And yeah, I love the creative process. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't. Right. And I did news for a very long time. And in the beginning, for a long time, I enjoyed it. But then my soul was like, it's time to do more. You know what I mean? So my foundation really was started there at CNN. And I was fortunate enough to go to another news organization. But from the news organization, I left news altogether in 2018 and went into local government to work on production. So I was able to get that live production experience, doing live events, which is totally different from branding and television shows and things of that sort. And then coming from city government back to DC to work for a health communications firm,
Yeah. So when you sit down and you start to brainstorm, what does that look like for you? Are you a sketcher? Are you like a word bubbler? Are you like
I'm a word bubbler. I'm a word bubbler, but I also go to YouTube to go back in the time capsule of some things that have stayed in my memory of things that I liked with campaign ads. It just depends on the story. I remember I was tasked to do the video and Schoolhouse Rock came into mind. And so I did a video very similar to Schoolhouse Rock, but from the church's perspective, not, you know what I mean? And we changed the lyrics to the Schoolhouse Rock song that we lifted the idea and the concept from, but then we put in our subject matter with the people and the video and things of that sort. But the concept was totally a Schoolhouse Rock type of thing. Yeah.
The music. There you go.
Yeah, the music. So that was not only just the video, it was changing the music, the lyrics.
Yeah.
Even the beats. I got the music department to work with us on that, because we didn't want to totally lift it. But the old school people in the audience were going to know, oh, that's from Schoolhouse Rock. Now, the kids might not know, but we knew.
Well, I think, too, there's something about figuring out who your audience is.
Yeah.
And hitting all those right notes. And I mean, the internet has become this amazing treasure trove of information, but like where you can go, back in time, you can go through the YouTubes of the world and just like scour and search and see what you can find. And it's even interesting to see what AI is doing now. And we're using
Oh God. How do you feel about this AI stuff? I just feel like it's gonna mess a lot of jobs for people.
So it's a double-edged sword. Like some of the stuff that's going now with the, you put in a prompt and it will write you a story. Like it writes a fine story. It's not, it's not Hemingway. It's not Dickens or anything like that.
No,
it's fine enough,
It gives you a framework. It doesn't give you something to connect.
Yeah, exactly.
It's missing connection.
And when it comes to art, it requires an exorbitant amount of time to get something that's perfect. I was thinking about the guy in Colorado who won the photography award. The thing he submitted was all AI generated, but he put in hundreds of hours to get it exactly right. So in a way, like he is a photographer, that kind of thing. So like it still requires time and energy, and still requires creativity to do it. How we use it as a tool for storyboarding, for style frames, for references. It's like, hey. Rather than spending hours and hours on Google searching for other references or like sketching out, till we're blue in the face, we can kind of go in and kind of take what's in our head, put it into words, and then massage that little bit, take that and be like, give it to the designers. Okay, this is where I want to go with it, kind of, sort of. But now we want to add a human touch to it, which I think it's not replicating. And it won't probably for many, many, many years, if ever. So I'm not afraid of it, but I think that it's something to watch and to use.
It is something to watch. Well, I mean, just like when the internet came out, remember?
Right there.
People were nervous and scared, but it's the best thing ever. Because now I'm thinking on my childhood, I was full encyclopedias. Remember that?
I remember that. Yes.
Do research.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And it's right here on our fingertips.
Yeah.
So I'm nervous about the AI that is being introduced to the world, but it will do some good. I just hope it continues to do good and not take away from the human connection and interaction on projects.
And it's how we handle it. I think social media is a great example of how we have taken something that could have been great and now it's this monster that I don't know if we're ever going to rein in.
Yeah.
But who knows? So
starts out great and then it turns into you can't pull the kids off,
I know,
and
right?
now they have connection issues because they are just always on social media, on the computer, gaming, and just to have a regular conversation can be tough for some, not all, but for some,
Go outside, go kick the soccer ball around.
Exactly.
All right, let's see what else we have in here the Jester has for you. All right, we talked about that a little bit. It's a creative process. Sorry, Jester, you blew that one. Ooh, here we go. This might get us a little bit serious.
Okay.
Is there a stereotype you would like to address? Dun 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 dun.
Is there a stereotype that I'd like to address? Oh, wow. I can't think of anything right now. A stereotype. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
This came with production. It's nice to see women in these production crews, and it's come a long way where we are getting the respect in the field. That women can do these jobs and are doing these jobs, whether it's directing, whether it's being a camera person, or whether it's even video editing. It has definitely come a long way from when I started off in the business and you would only see one camera woman, so I really am glad that we are breaking that stereotype and have broken it, and there are more to come,
So how do you feel like as you've been, because I think you've been on the forefront of that throughout.
The early 2000s.
Yeah. I mean,
the late 90s.
Look, it was clear when, like we talked about earlier, going through the transitions we went through at CNN, it was very clear we knew, the pecking order of the editing crew.
Yeah.
And you could
it was always men. It was always men. A lot of men.
Right, but in what I'm the other point that I'm trying to make is
that's bad.
No, right, yeah, I understand. Like we always knew like LaNese was interested. Like LaNese was very hands on. LaNese was someone not to be trifled with. Like she knew her stuff, and there was this idea that like you were in our mind, like you were one of these people. Like we knew, like okay, she's got it, she's good to go. Like. You know what I mean? Like there was this idea that there was a respect. And I think that was part of like, you worked hard, you earned it. Like you knew what you used to do and you spoke up, you weren't afraid. Like that's fantastic. And I just feel like as you're going through that, so my point is like that's just part of who you are. Yeah. So as you're like getting through the ranks of all of that, and now you're managing folks, what has that been like for you to see that change? What are some things that you have had to be like, maybe you see something, you're like, you know what? Not even going to respond to that. I got a task to do. Like, is that something you kind of encountered, and how do you deal with that?
Definitely. Especially when I started out. Because if you remember, as we were talking, there would be like one or two women in the editing section of the newsroom, or one woman as with the camera guys. And people do say things to you as you're working, but you just let it roll off because you got work to do, and you can't worry about people squawking about what you can't get done, because you can get it done. You just need them to go away. But I think in news, once they see that you can hit your deadlines and be creative at the same time, then, they try you in the beginning, but once they see you can do it, they kind of leave you alone. Production, live events, it's a male-dominated field. I get it. So a lot of times they don't think you know what you're talking about, but you do. And, you'll have some instances where event might be going on, they're thinking one way in terms of production and where gear should be. And you're like, no, in the meeting, we discussed this way, and these are the reasons why. And then they have to go, oh, you're right. So
yeah,
you have to go, you have these debates with people, but in the end, it all works out. It's just tiring,
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. I can't even imagine. Do you feel like the phrase catch more flies with honey?
Yes.
Do you feel like that applies as you've gone through it? Do you think it's a personality thing? Do you think that like there's some... What do you think?
Well, in the beginning, you can try to, you can catch more flies with honey. That may work. But sometimes you really have to stand up for yourself, because some people will get out of pocket and be disrespectful. And you have to speak up for yourself. You have to speak up for your project. I had a situation in the newsroom. They wanted me to do a story that I didn't agree with. This was probably like 2003, 2004. And the reason I didn't agree with the project is because by the time it was a Father's Day piece. And by the time I finished editing everything, it was an abstract piece. There were no facts. There were no graphics. The B-roll was going to show a lot of the inner city youth, a lot of the urban areas, and we're talking about fathers. And I know there's a perception that, certain ethnicities and their families, fathers aren't there. But I can't attest to that, because I know a lot of great families with a lot of Black fathers in the home, a lot of Hispanic fathers in the home, vice versa. So my point was, you don't have any solid sound bites to support this abstract Father's Day piece. I don't agree with it. And I'm not going to edit something that I don't agree with. That we are very visual people. This piece is visual. And what you're going to show is that in the Black areas, in the urban areas, the fathers are not in the home. There are a lot of numbers that don't get talked about fatherhood and Black fathers. And I didn't do the piece. The executive producer had a fit. He sent it to Atlanta to get it done. And again, it was Father's Day weekend. And this piece was coming on right before Bill Clinton. And Richard Klein, who was the president of CNN at that time, had a fit. He was like, what was that? So I felt vindicated, because the little editor in the food chain was like, no, supporting facts. This is an abstract piece. People are going to look at the visuals and, you're not spewing the new information that's out about, families and fathers and families and the different genres of families that we have, and fathers being in the home. So I felt vindicated that the president of the network did not like the piece. Yeah. And I felt like I stood up, and it was difficult because my executive producer was screaming about, why aren't you doing this piece, LaNese? And he kept going around with me. And I just stayed true to what I felt. And the reason why I even became a video producer and editor was because when he goes into the edit room, those images are chosen by that editor and that producer. And I have the power to say, no, that's not the best image to show for this. So that was an instance where things got difficult for me standing up for myself. And I would in the end. It was a pretty process, though. That is
such a great story about a lot of things. Now that I'm thinking about it, about staying true to what you believe, about trying to be very clear in a message.
Yeah.
And then we get really deep into the news cycle. Yeah. And into like just cranking out content.
Yeah.
And not really stopping.
You were going to fill up time, but this piece wasn't saying anything. It wasn't saying anything.
Yeah. Not stopping to really think about what we're doing or the impact that we have. That was one of the things that always amazed me, is like, we would get, these big old stacks of documents from X, Y, or Z, agency. And they're like, okay, we're now going to distill that into a 3-minute piece. Are you out of your mind? Really? You got 15,000 pages and you're going to put a 3-minute piece together about what's inside that thing for the public? you got to be kidding me. And then it falls on two people. It falls on the editor and the producer.
Yeah, to get it done.
To get that thing done. And of course it runs through the chain of command, and we all know that. So CNN don't get all crazy about this. But it still comes down to that first gate, essentially is two people trying to distill that information down into something I don't know. It just, I love that example of being hold on, time out here. Let's look at what we're trying to say, because you're covering a lot of ground with this story, and you're really leaving a lot of things, on the cutting room floor that shouldn't be there.
And you're not showing positive images as much as we know there's the opposite, the bad images, the positive images, the good story, the bad story. You got to show both. And this piece was not balanced. Mm-hmm. It definitely wasn't balanced because there were no facts.
Yeah.
It was all abstract, but your visuals, that's what sticks with people. And it was all going to be, not positive. So,
well, it's Father's Day too.
I didn't feel comfortable being the person to say I'm helping to craft and produce this piece just to cover it, because there are great fathers out there, no matter, what type of family they come from. But there are, and we got to celebrate. Let's celebrate it. Let's celebrate these fathers.
I agree.
Why does Father's Day have to be tainted with bad news? You know what I mean? We wouldn't do that on Mother's Day.
No, of course not.
So,
Well, look, I think that you can find that in lots of places, that no matter where you're from, what color, what background, how you were raised, there are a mountain of examples of great fathers, mothers, grandparents who have been through all kinds of stuff, and your circumstance does not have to, be the thing that defines you. So I think that being able to put a pause on that, and be hold on, wait a minute,
right,
what are we trying to say here? That's really cool. So
yeah. But trust me, the process of saying no,
not easy.
They were beating me down. I was like, okay, fine, get somebody else to do it. It won't be me. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't do the piece.
Right.
I just don't want to be responsible for that.
I'm not the president of the network. Knock yourself out.
Right. And so when the president of the network was like, what was that piece of bump?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I do make sense. This is the right path. I spoke up for something and it was correct. So
I love that. Yeah. Man. All right. We're going to do one more.
Okay.
And we'll get you out of here. Oh, it's a short one. LaNese Harris, what is your superpower?
My superpower is compassion. I am compassionate to a situation. I'm compassionate towards people. Compassion is my superpower. And I think you need that because your job can be black and white, but sometimes you got to feel the situation out with people. Some people may be off that day. You got to be able to read the room or read that situation. And, if you don't have your compassion meter on, you can miss a lot.
I can vouch for that. I mean, LaNese Harris never had a bad day. I mean, seriously.
No, I have, trust me. And those people didn't have compassion.
Right. Well, look, there was always something about we could walk down, edit row, and always smiling, always laughing. And I think there's something really powerful to that. So that is a really good one to end on. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
I can't wait to
We really do need to go have a real jester.
This one's terrifying. So we'll
catch up with you.
We'll do another type of beverage, not the jester. We don't want to need that in our lives.
I'm in trouble with the jester.
Oh my gosh. I love it. LaNese, have a great one. I will talk to you later.
All right, take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.